20.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and I hope you guys enjoyed the cruise cinematic portion of this episode. And in this episode, we're going to be checking out the entire approach, arrival, and landing into Eham, Echo Hotel Alpha Mike, or Amsterdam Schiphol International Airport. As you guys can see, we're currently cruising at 37,000 feet, as was planned in the previous episode, and we're less than 80 nautical miles away from our top of descent. So I know it's a little bit early to start planning our descent. However, I think since I'm new to this aircraft and I've never done it before, I think we need to enter some crucial pieces of information that we're going to be doing right now. So first things first, I think the first thing we should enter is our approach localizer frequency, because I think, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to do that manually in this aircraft. So if I go into the charts, you guys can clearly see here that the approach course is 110.55, so I'm going to enter that here. 110.55 is entered, and we're going to set that as the active frequency. What are the other housekeeping items we need to do? Currently, the local barometric pressure at Schiphol is 1013, so we don't really have to worry about anything in that respect, apart from just turning it from standard to local over here. We can set the decision height, though, so we can go ahead and check what the decision height is. It's 189 feet baro, so we can just go here and set 189 feet here in the decision height section. Unfortunately, you have to scroll it, and it takes quite a bit of time to scroll it all the way to 189, but I guess we can do that since we have the time. Some of the advantages of starting descent planning early on. And 189 feet is set. The landing altitude is negative 11 feet, so it's below sea level technically. So we're going to again do the same thing we did in the previous episode, right alt click this screen. So we have the landing elevation here, and we're going to set this now down to, I think, negative 20, yeah, because it's closer to negative 11 than 0 is. Now that that's all set, we have the... in the cruise, I did turn off the passenger signs, allowed them to move about in the cabin, but they're going to have to sit down again. One thing that I'm getting still used to is managing the auto throttle all by myself. I'm still managing the throttle controls in order to maintain that particular speed that I have set, in order to maintain that glide slope. Oh, sorry, not the glide slope, so the ground speed value we had specified earlier on. But yeah, I'm planning to start the descent around 40 nautical miles away from the top of descent point because... yeah, it's better to start a slow, sedated rate of descent rather than just, doing the descent later on. I'm still not familiar with the flight dynamics of this aircraft. I don't know how it flies, if it's slippery, or if it's a very good descending aircraft. So in order to figure all that out, it's better to just start early. So I'll see you guys when we're about 40 nautical miles away from the top of descent. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're about 40 nautical miles away from the top of descent point, and we're supposed to be below 25,000 feet at the towpack point. So I think it's imperative that we start descending right about now. So I'm going to set the altitude down to 2,000 feet, which is our glide slope capture altitude, and we're going to be incrementally descending through all of these waypoints. So hopefully we can actually make this approach work. I'm confident that we have the ability to do so. And let's get started. So I'm going to select vertical speed. From what I've seen in the tutorials, that's the best way to descend this aircraft. So I'm going to set a 1,000 feet per minute vertical speed, and as you guys can see, we are starting to descend now. If you guys are wondering about this dotted green line that we have over here, that happens to actually be a fix that I've entered. So this aircraft actually has an amazing feature where if you go to fix, and if you just enter a reference, in this case we've entered the actual airport itself, and we enter a distance, it creates a ring around like the 111 nautical mile ring around the airport. So that tells us a good indication of when to start descending. There's some it's just a sneaky little formula I figured out on YouTube. So if you guys want to use that, take your cruising altitude multiplied by 3 and enter that value here in nautical miles, and you'll be able to understand a good time to start descending. Obviously we're starting to descend a little bit earlier in this case because we want to be prepared, but that's a good rule of thumb for you guys if you guys ever plan to do that in the future. So we're actually going to start descending at 1,500 feet per minute, and we're also going to have to control the speed here. As you guys can see, it's going way up to the coffin corner area, so that's one thing I'm still getting used to. The Airbus handles all of the speed-related controls all by itself. The auto throttle system is something that you definitely get used to if you're flying airliners, and it's fun to get a little bit more stick and rudder here. Although this isn't much of stick and rudder, it's just moving the throttle around. Anyways, it's just my way of kind of living the stick and rudder life, ladies and gentlemen. Do not judge. We're about 39 minutes into the flight, and we are descending nicely. We should also go ahead and turn on the seatbelt signs here so that the passengers can sit down. We don't want any mishaps in that department. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys as we continue descending. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I think the caution has indeed paid off. We have descended below 25,000 feet. We're at around 22,700 feet, and I've completely arrested our descent. As you guys can see, the vertical speed is down to 0, and I'm trying to maintain the speed that we have going on here, because at the next waypoint, which is the Monil waypoint, this one, we're supposed to be at 19,000 feet, and then Rob V and Sugol happen right after. Sugol, we're supposed to be at around about, let me just check on the operational flight plan. At Sugol, we're supposed to be at 12,500 feet, and after that, our approach is pretty much just straight on down to 2,000 feet. So in order to do all that, I've just arrested our momentum for now. As soon as we start crossing this Tapa waypoint, or re-begin our descent, and then try to get down to those altitudes as efficiently as possible. Still trying to manage the speed over here, but just wanted to give you guys a status update. We're currently over the water, so the performance is absolutely fantastic. If you guys are wondering, I'm getting around 63 frames per second, and it looks absolutely fantastic. We're above. We're coming in from the north, so we'll be taking this right turn and then coming in. Amsterdam should be somewhere around there. But yeah, pretty excited for this approach, and I will keep you guys in the loop if something interesting happens. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing our descent successfully. Nothing much to report here. Again, it's not even like I can show you guys any scenery or talk about anything. We're literally over the water, but I do, in fact, see the shores of Amsterdam over there in the distance. I don't know if you guys can see that on the video, but I can definitely see some mushy terrain over there. So we're definitely approaching some land, and we should have more interesting things to talk about as soon as we descend below 10,000 feet. Maybe as soon as we start approaching Sugol. After that, it's just a straight in arrival into runway 06 at Echo Hotel Alpha Mike. So I think we're definitely going to have some stuff to talk about. Until then, I'm going to let you guys enjoy the descent some more. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we're now down to 10,000 feet, and we've taken our left turn towards Sugol. Now it's actually a little easier to show you guys the approach. So it's pretty simple. From Sugol, we essentially head directly here, and then we take a left, and then we have our approach into runway 06. So I might do a little bit of self-vectoring here by putting us on our heading, and so that it's easier to capture the localizer as we get closer to the ILS beacon over there. But apart from that, there's nothing much to do. We're passing 10,000 feet, so let's go ahead and get the landing lights on and the wing light on as well. Why not? And we'll wait to turn on the taxi light until we're on the localizer and glide slope and we're fully established. But we can now clearly start to see some land over there in the distance. So I don't necessarily know where the where the airport is, but it's supposed to be somewhere over there, maybe. Yeah, after we take this right turn, it's somewhere over there in the distance. So we're going to start procedurally also turning our speed down here. And we're also going to arrest our rate of descent. We don't want to be descending too fast. We're supposed to get there at around 2,000 feet. So I think we should be good. I'm going to try to maintain 250 knots for as long as possible. We have another 25 nautical miles or so to go until we get to that until we get to the start of our approach procedure. And there's that right turn we're taking. Let's take a look. There's nothing to really see. I don't know if this route was very interesting, but this is practically the only way you can get from the UK down to the rest of Europe, because there's this big sort of water body in the middle of all of that. So there's nothing really cinematically to show you guys, but I think we should start to see some stuff as and when we get closer to the land here, which we're pretty close to anyway. So 8,800 feet, and we're coming down nice and easy. Alright, we're going to use manual heading select, and we're going to turn the heading of the aircraft a little bit to the right, maybe 150, so we can better intercept the path that we have over there. So we're just going to get to around that point, and we're going to point the aircraft in that direction. Our speed again is creeping up. I've set it to 240 knots, so it's easier for us to get down below the 230 knot threshold, so we can start extending flaps and stuff like that. So that's the rationale behind that decision, if anybody's wondering. And in fact, oh, we have the localizer there. Perfect. Localizer's ready to go. Localizer's not captured, but it's available. That's what it says. Let's turn the heading of the aircraft a little bit more, maybe, over towards the water, so we can take that left turn somewhere around the midpoint of this line segment, and then we can come in easily for the localizer. I'm just doing all this planning. Normally, I would have vectors from ATC, but since we're flying without any air traffic control, we're going to have to take control of this ourselves. So we're down to 7,600 feet, and we are descending nicely. Oh, there you go. We can start seeing some traffic over there. The runway and I think that's the airport. It's a mega structure. Amsterdam Schiphol Airport is one of the largest and most developed airports in the world, so it's definitely going to be a treat to come and land here. All right, coming down. Still going to try to maintain that 240 knots. I'm going to get the throttle up, and we're descending at around 800 feet per minute. I think it's okay to descend at this rate, considering we're still 20 nautical miles away, around about. In fact, let's up it to around 1,000 feet per minute, so we're not too slow. There we go. 1,000 feet per minute works. And let's get the throttle back. This is super fun, actually. I thought that managing the throttles will be very hard, but in the cruise, essentially, if you set it to one particular setting, it's fine. It maintains the rough sort of the rough speed that you require. No wonder you can do super long flights with these, because if you had to, then the pilots would have to stay on the throttles throughout. So the CRJ is definitely for short hauls. I'm not going to be doing long hauls with this. You definitely have to stay on top of the throttle, but it's not as bad as I was expecting. I was expecting to constantly keep going up and down on the throttle throughout the flight, but that's not the case at all. So it's a pleasure to fly so far. I hope I can say the same about the landing. All right, as for the landing procedure, one other thing I remembered, on the performance page, there's also a landing tab. Let me just get the brightness up here. There we go. And there's the landing speeds as well. So it automatically calculates these. I'm just going to say set all. So that brings our ref speed to 134 knots. So VREF is 134. That's the speed we're going to be landing with. It's relatively slow, but for this aircraft, it is perfectly fine. And there we go. We can start seeing some of the shores, I think that is the beach. You can definitely see a brown layer over there. But we still can't make out any major terrain details from this distance. So I'm going to get the range dialed back here. I think performance is also starting to dip down. Yeah, now we're getting about 48 to 50 because it's starting to render more stuff. And we can start taking that left turn here, in fact, to try to get on that localizer as best as possible. So I'm going to try to overshoot that a little bit just to be able to make sure we get that. There we go. And we can actually also switch the nav source to the localizer as we start getting closer to the runway. There we go. Localizer 1 is armed, so we have the localizer confirmed. We're around about 20.3 nautical miles away from the runway. The course is set. The approach course is 058. And when we're on the localizer, we'll also go ahead and set the runway heading. And we can continue decreasing our speed at this point, so we can come down to about 220 knots. I think that should work. I don't know how fast this aircraft bleeds off speed, but it's definitely going to be fun to check it out. So I think that is runway 06 over there, if I'm not mistaken. Something around there. Maybe not. Maybe runway 06 is over there. I completely misjudged that. But let's see what these guys see out of the window. Looks absolutely fantastic. There's some traffic over there coming in. Obviously no vectors, so we're just kind of relying on the fact that there's nothing on the runway when we go land, or it's going to be absolutely hilarious where we're going to land on some aircraft and some other aircraft is going to land on us. But let's see what happens. So 1013 over here should be set. I don't think we need to do much. Yeah, and we just have to change that here when we get to 3,000 feet, which we will do. We can decrease our rate of descent. This magenta line tells us when we're expected to reach our specified altitude on the MCP. So we can set this down to about 600 to 500 feet. That looks good. And here we go. And can we set the range back a little? There we go. Now we can exactly see. So 2,000 feet and above, and then we're supposed to be 2,000 at Echo Hotel 609. So our descent was very well done. I'm very proud of it. And our speed is again crawling back. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start taking some flaps. So I'm going to take flap, according to the threshold here, we can go all the way down to flap 20 under 230 knots. So I'm going to take flap 1 for now, just the slats. And 1013 over here is active, so let's go ahead and get standard pressure set and maintain 200 knots as we come in. We're still at 12 point. Actually, we're pretty close, so let's just start slowing ourselves down considerably. Let's get down to about 160 knots. And let's get the throttles back here. And make sure that the heading is pointing us correctly. And we also have the glide slope over there. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and arm the approach. I don't want to worry about anything that I don't absolutely have to. We're also going to take flap 8 here. And that should get the flaps down. Oh, look at that. We have some scenery now. Amazing. How's the performance looking? 41 frames per second. Not bad at all. We can manage that totally. And we have 2,000 something, 2,900 feet. And we're coming down nice and easy. So approach mode is armed. Localizer is already captured. We should be taking that left turn momentarily. I'm going to try to increase the speed a little bit. We don't want to come in too shallow here. Here we go. Vertical speed is still armed, so let's just get that up a little. There we go. Try to see if I can get that down to the right amount. 160 knots is what we want to get to. We can take flap 20 as well. And we are coming down nice and easy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start looking for the runway. I think we should start seeing some indication of the runway. I think it's over there, maybe there. I have no idea. I think as soon as we make this turn, we're going to know for sure. All right. Localizer should start turning us. There we go. Localizer. Beautiful. All right. Slow ourselves way down. And there's the glide slope also captured. So it's going to start descending us. We can also, with that, take the gear down. And we can start looking out the window. Beautiful. Look at those fields over there. Amsterdam looking absolutely gorgeous as always. There we go, runway 06, right in front of us. What did I say, guys? Nothing to worry about. Right, so the localizer's, again, trying really hard to be able to capture that. Our missed approach altitude for today's flight happens to be 2,000 feet, so nothing for us to set on the altitude panel over here. Approach mode is armed. Autopilot is engaged. We can go ahead and turn on the actual light over here, the runway taxi light, whatever. And we can get our speed down to 100 and whatever our VREF was, I think 134 knots. So like continue slowing that down. We can also take flap 30 and continue taking flaps down as we start coming down. VREF is 134 knots. So yeah, coming down nice and easy. Gonna maintain that speed as best as possible. And take flap 40 as well. And we're getting a few stutters as the scenery here loads. It's quite complex, so I'm not gonna blame it too much. There we go. Alright. As long as it's relatively smooth, I'm okay with it. Alright, we're dipping a bit below the speed here, so I'm going to try to maintain that. Here we go. There we go. Maintain that speed. Perfect. Oh, getting a little over there, over the speed. Alright, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see how this aircraft flies. Let's disconnect the autopilot and see if we can do this ourselves. So, coming in nice and easy. I'm going to try to follow that glide slope, but again, I have to keep an eye on the speed as well, which I'm not very used to doing with the Airbus. Alright, increase that speed. We're getting a little low here. So 3 reds and 1 white on the Pappy. That's not good. We're going to want to maintain that VREF speed for as long as possible. Good news is there's nothing on the runway, which means we are absolutely clear for landing. Alright, we have a little bit of wind we're getting, so we're going to try to correct for that as best as possible. Again, ladies and gentlemen, my first landing in the Aerosoft CRJ, so do not judge if this is an absolute slammer or a floater, or if we indeed go ahead and crash into the terminal building. Alright, let's focus up.
300. 200 minimums.
Alright, I'm ignoring the Pappies. And we're continuing.
100 minimums. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oh, we definitely floated that. But that's alright, we got it on the ground. We're going to try to keep it level. Reversers are armed. Are they armed? I think they're armed. And we should be braking this aircraft. There we go. Slowing down nice and easy. Are the reversers armed here? Let me just make sure. Yeah, they are. 80 knots. And there we go. We can take manual braking here. And get the reversers turned off as well. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Successful landing into Amsterdam Schiphol International Airport. And I have to say, the aircraft does handle very, very nicely. So I'm very pleased with that. We're going to be taking this Sierra 4 left here, and we're going to be taxiing to any gate that has a jetway and we can park at. We can go ahead and turn off the landing lights. We can turn off the wing and inspection light. And, oh, don't miss the exit here. Just like not missing an off-ramp, we just have to be careful. There we go. This is Sierra 5, I think. So we can go ahead and take a look at the Navigraph charts, and we can make sure to know where we are. So yeah, so we're going to be taking a left and trekking anywhere we can find a parking terminal. In fact, we can go ahead and park at any of those terminal gates over there. Looks great. All right. All right, let's slow ourselves down a little bit more when we're taxiing. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was a successful flight. First CRJ 700 landing on the channel. So if you guys want, leave a like for that. Subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be plenty of more of these videos coming very, very soon. I think we had a slope over there. That's what slowed us down. Anyways, let's take the flaps up here. And let's go ahead and turn off the weather radar. I forgot where it was here. There we go. Off. We can turn the TCAS to standby as well. And what else can we do? We can go ahead and start the APU. That's obviously going to be important. So let's go ahead and open the APU door. And I'm saying let's just go left and park somewhere over there. Yeah, there you go. Our KLM brethren over there. Let's just go park next to that. And let's go ahead and turn on the APU here as well. Performance is definitely suffering at this airport. I can't wait for DirectX 12 integration, where the CPU starts to get used better and we don't have to suffer FPS drops. But the overall approach itself was very, very beautiful. Very beautiful indeed, especially after we saw some land, which was extremely comforting, to say the least. All right, so let's continue taxiing. What else can we do? We can... oh, we didn't even arm the reversers. That was the problem. I think the reversers weren't working because of that. That was one of the main reasons why we weren't slowing down fast enough. That makes sense. All right. What else can we do? We can... Well, let's make sure we successfully complete this turn first. Oh, there's a bunch of KLMs here. Let's go park next to some of those KLMs over there. That looks more interesting. The APU is up and running here, available. We don't need the probe heats anymore. So let's going to turn those off, and we can turn the approach mode off. No longer need that. And nothing more is needed. We can also turn off the taxi light so as to not blind any marshalers in our vicinity. Turn the strobe light off now that we are off the runway. And also turn off the chronometer. Forgot about that. Approximately a 1 hour and 10-minute flight. That's what the overall flight length was. But yeah, look at all these KLMs. Look at all these CRJs here as well. Looks beautiful. All right. Let's go to the external view and see where we can park. I think we can go park next to that isolated, lonely CRJ over there. Let's do that. Let's give him some company, eh? All right. We can take a left turn here. Here we go. Let's hope we don't slow down completely. The nose wheel system is definitely slowing us down. Let's give it some oomph. There we go. Here we go. Easy does it. Beautiful. All right, we're straight on. Let's go ahead and see if we can get parked up nice and gently. All right, let's slow ourselves down here. We don't want to be tanking into the gate here. That's the parking end position. Coming in nice and easy. Let's hope we can stop in time. We are centered. And there we go. Parking brake we need to set. And parking brake is also set. APU is available for us, so we're also going to go ahead and stop both the engines. I think that's how you stop the engines. Maybe you don't. Maybe I think you need to actually unclip these and turn them off like that. There you go. Engines are off. Left engine and right engine oil pressures and stuff are going to start dropping, obviously, because the engines are not working. We can also go ahead and turn off the fuel pumps. We can turn off the hydraulic systems apart from 3A, I believe. That one we keep on. And we can go ahead and turn off the beacon light. We can go ahead and turn off... What else can we turn off here, ladies and gentlemen? We can turn off the window heats. We no longer need that. The air conditioning can stay on as long as the passengers are deboarding. And I think we have an operational gate here. So let's see if that works. So let's go to aircraft. Let's go to a jetway. Oh, there you go. Jetway works. And we can consequently go here and turn on the passenger door. Oh, open the passenger door. That's what I meant. And we can turn on, open the forward cargo, aft cargo, service door, and let's see if we get catering and baggage services here. I don't know if we will, and I don't know what's happening to the jetway over there, but let's just hope he can get attached to our aircraft, and that our passengers don't die while deboarding this aircraft. All right. I don't think it attaches properly, but yeah, look at this jetway. It's so crooked. It's funny. All right. Yeah, I don't think these guys are going to approach us anytime soon. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so let's just get out of here. That was our first Aerosoft CRJ 700 flight in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So that's a bit of a flyby simulations milestone on the channel. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I always keep saying just hit that little notification icon right next to the subscribe button and select all, so you guys are notified of all the videos I produce, may it be tutorials or product product reviews or full flight videos such as these. There's going to be tons more on the channel, and it's going to be very, very exciting, all flight sim related stuff. So if you guys are in for all the flight sim goodies, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button, and we see that beautiful aircraft taking off in the distance over there as well. So more such stuff on the channel very, very soon. With that all said, thanks for flying by.